Hello, everybody. Today we have Miss Pallabi Ghosh with us. Pallabi ji is truly an inspiration, a global voice on human trafficking and gender-based violence. She's spoken at TEDx and G20, and through her organization Impact and Dialogue Foundation, she works tirelessly to prevent, rescue, rehabilitate, and empower survivors of trafficking and at-risk girls. So, before we begin, I would like to thank Pallabi ji to making the time and speaking with us. Thank you so much, Pallabi ji.
Thank you so much, Ajay, for calling me.
Okay, so at what point did you first become interested in the issue of human trafficking? Why did you decide to do something?
I won't say I became interested to work in it. It is just that things happened one by one. I was 12. I went to Kolkata for a holiday. So this has become a repeated story. So I would request everybody who wants to actually know about me, just Google Pallavi Ghosh. You will find out. I just give you a very small gist. I was 12. I visited a village in Bengal, and then I saw a child go missing, and I was quite curious at that point of time about missing children, not human trafficking, because it's not possible for me to understand what is human trafficking at that small age. After that, multiple instances happened, and over the years, I started understanding like what happens to missing children. But the biggest breakthrough was when I was in my college doing my graduation. I was followed by one girl who kept following me for at least 2, 3 days. Finally, I had to go up to her and ask her why was she following me, and then she started saying that I was speaking a language that was very much heard of in our village. So I told her that it's Bengali and it is one of the most common languages. She was like, no, she comes from remote Haryana, and then there are Haryanvi women speaking it. So I requested her to take me to her village, but she didn't. But somehow I pulled strings and went to another village where I got to see a lot of women, uh, out of which one girl told me when I asked everybody a question in Bengali, that when she was 13, she went to a village fair. She wanted to have ice cream. She didn't have the money to buy a milk ice cream. So she ended up by having 50 pies. The person who was opposite to her gave her 2 rupees to buy that milk ice cream. They became friends. She fell in love with him. He brought her to Delhi, and from Delhi, he took her to Haryana, sold her off in love. So this is basically the background. After that, I completed my studies. I reached out to a lot of ministries who are working in human trafficking to prevent human trafficking. But then somewhere I was hired by an organ NGO because I knew all the source area languages. In human trafficking, there are three aspects of source, transit, destination. So because I knew Nepali, Odia, Assamese, Bengali, so they hired me. I worked there for a couple of years, and finally I left them. So that's how things happened. Of
Yeah.
course, I was passionate. That's a different thing. But organically things happened one after another, and over the years, I started knowing about it. And why did I decide to do something about it? Because I started seeing the helplessness of the people who were a victim of it, and how they were treated as slaves. For me, it was not just human trafficking, it was like modern day slavery. I started seeing how humans in 21st century had no decision on what to do with their life. They were like pendulums, like
Yes.
they were just made to do something, they were forced to do something, they were not given equal wage, they were sexually exploited. So it's basically like you are a human by face, but you don't have a choice or a right to take decisions for you. So that's when I decided to do something about it.
What is your position at Impact and Dialogue Foundation? How does the organization educate people about all forms of human trafficking?
See, I started the organization in 2020 December. That was also because I was in northern part of the country after a rescue from a red light area, and I was reached out by a couple of children who said that their siblings had got corona. Initially, I did not pay heed to it, but then later I thought that how come in the first wave of corona children were getting corona? Because in the first wave, children were generally not getting COVID; they were immune to it. After 2 days, I got to know that a lot of children had died. So that kind of triggered me. I put some informers and found out that, actually a huge organ trafficking racket was going on. But then, of course, because I did not have evidence, I couldn't do much. I tried to do a PIL, but then in order to do a PIL, you need to have some evidence. You need to have some people. So all the people were absconding. So that's when I decided to start the organization. I am running the organization. I'm the
Yes.
founder of the organization. How do we educate? We do different things. We just don't go for workshops or training in schools, colleges. We also do ground outreach. We do door to door outreach. We do research. We do mapping of areas in villages, especially. Our focus, of course, is in destinations like Bangalore, Delhi, Pune, Bombay, Chennai. But primary focus is village areas, remote areas. We do different things. We do street plays. We do one-to-one outreach. We conduct awareness programs. We work with law enforcement, which includes border security force, railway protection force, general railway police, to mention a few, and local police. These are some of the things. Apart from that, we reach out to everybody. It's not like we reach out to only researchers, activists, social workers. We reach out to people. Like, for example, one of the primary reasons for me to talk in podcast is that even if 10 people get to know something, hearing me, that is also a big achievement. Because for me, so that's why you will see that I don't go to only popular podcasts. I go to all kinds of podcasts. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody who was a school child who really who was not popular, who did not do a lot of podcasting, who just wanted to spread awareness. So one primary way to educate masses is, going to all these online sessions, offline sessions. I never say no, because that is one way of educating people. Nowadays, people don't eat print media. Everything is electronic media. So that is how we educate people, to name a few. Apart from that, if you go to our website, you can know more.
So is there any particular rescue mission that was very challenging for you? What were the difficulties encountered during it, and how did you succeed in overcoming them?
All rescue operations are difficult. Yeah, one rescue operation was very difficult. We had to do 7 to 8 raids to search for the child, but we couldn't find her. But finally, I myself, actually, I will not name the place because it's still in investigation. So there is this girl who was trafficked by her sister-in-law's sister in Western India. And then what happened was that she somehow told her family reached out to me. I disguised myself. For 3-4 days, and then finally I could find her. But then it was so difficult because the girl was taken away from that place. So we had to conduct 7 to 8 rescues. Finally, by chance, we found her. It was very difficult because she was made to consume a lot of alcohol. She was given a lot of hormonal injections. So she was 16, but she looked like a 24-year-old woman. So that was one of the rescues I would like to mention. But apart from that, there are many rescues. There was one rescue where a girl was beaten from head to toe, so she had turned into a vegetable. There are like no rescue is easy. Every rescue is challenging. But one thing that is very important in a rescue is you have to have that, they say that Kira in Hindi, like that, you need to find the girl. So that's one primary thing. And expecting that you can find the girl alone is a myth, because of course, without police, you can't go. So you have to depend on police, definitely, but you have to understand that what you should reveal, what you shouldn't reveal. So this was one very challenging rescue, because we were following this case for nearly 6 months. And then finally, after conducting rescue, after doing raids for 7 to 8 places, finally we could rescue her. So this was one of the, I wouldn't say the only one, but one of the most challenging rescues.
Yeah. So how have your informer network and volunteer network improved your efforts? Can you give us an example where this collaboration only helped breathe life into a particular mission or the project?
See, volunteers is because now I have become quite popular, so people have reached out to me. As far as informer network developed because I give a lot of respect to the informer. Of course, not like putting a garland on their neck, but giving them the respect that they are like equal like me. So that's one. Second is that we never reveal our informers' information to anybody. We keep them anonymous, because of course they put their life in stake going to this place, finding information. Many informers have helped us. Like, for example, this January only, we rescued a girl from Eastern India. This guy got to know about me from social media, reached out to me, and we could rescue the girl who was kept in prostitution for a year. So definitely, so informer networks really helps, provided you have to keep keep touch with the informer. It's not like yeah, you got the girl rescued, now you don't care about the informer. You have to continuously keep in touch with the informer. If you think that okay, my work is done, my job is done, now I'll not keep in touch, that's a wrong thing. Sometimes it might happen that one informer has helped in rescuing only one girl, but so many people get disappointed. Yeah, एक ही लड़की को rescue किया है. But it's not about that. It's the fact that you never know through his channel, through his contacts, you might get to know about others. So one thing that has helped me is keeping constant contact, and also trying to see how you can develop the informers. How you can develop the informers, informers to build their life. Because mostly informers are people who come from the low strata of society. Somebody who is a cook, somebody who is some of the informers, somebody who is a cook, somebody who is a driver, somebody who is a coolie, something like that, somebody who is selling water. But then you have to also ensure that if you are rehabilitating the survivors or the victims, you have to see that how you can motivate the informer to make his life better. That has really worked for us.
And which type of education programs or initiatives do you focus to raise awareness about these human trafficking in vulnerable communities?
See, it is not like there is any hard and fast thing, but we try to connect. Like, for example, right now, we are focusing a lot on ragging, bullying. We are focusing a lot on impact of social media. We are focusing a lot on financial fraud, cyber abuse, illegal immigration, forced migration, illegal migration, marginalized communities. We do a lot of things depending on the area and the target audience. Like, for example, we can't go to a village and talk about ragging. That doesn't work. You have to see the vulnerability in the village. So our way of reaching out and doing awareness and educating the masses is, mapping out the area, mapping out the demography, which state, which are the places, what is the vulnerability, and then accordingly we curate different sessions. We have a module, but it's not like it's a hard and fast. According to the need and interest of the target group, we reach out to them. But of course, there are certain target groups that we reach on a regular basis. For them also, we customize and see what is the best way to reach out to them. Because if you go and talk about educating masses or creating awareness, you can't just go and randomly talk about trafficking. There is no run and tail. You have to create a base. So you need to create a base and then only talk about trafficking. If you just go and talk about trafficking, people get completely confused because most of them can't relate to it. So different modules we try, and it varies from person to person, group to group, state to state. So it's not like it's one uniform thing.
And you have achieved a lot with regards to the work that you are doing. So do survivors benefit from rehabilitation programs or any other strategies are designed to support them as they rebuild their lives?
Yeah, absolutely. Because now I have 10 survivors working with me in the team. So definitely it helps. We see what is the survivor good at. Like, for example, we have 3 programs. One program is around, giving them 1 year of training in different types of basic work. It can be stitching, weaving, knitting, basic English, computer. And then once they pass out, we give them a certificate, a sewing machine, and some seed money to start their work. Second are survivors who want to do certification program, but not degree. So we have MOUs with different organizations where we send the girls for BBA, for BCom, for coding, for graphic designing, digital marketing. This is one, because it's not in our bandwidth. The third are groups of people who wants to do a regular course, like a nursing or maybe a law or a graduation. So that group, we get sponsors for them. So these are the 3 programs that run another organization. Apart from that, we do different things. Like recently, we got a shop done for a survivor because she cannot go out of the house and do anything. So she's now selling all these things, biscuits, chips, basic stationery, basic pulses and all of that. So that's one. Second is that we do different things. Like we do confidence workshops for them. We do mental health workshops for them. We do storytelling sessions for them. So it has really helped them, because the survivors was not even ready to get out of the house and only going to the washroom and coming back to the house. Now survivors are going and able to talk. Like one survivor will travel with me now for a research project. Of course, she will not be able to do things the way I do in English. But the fact that she is ready to travel with me for 3 days for a project, that itself is thing. So yes, rehabilitation programs really helps. But yes, along with rehabilitation, you also have to think about empowerment programs so that they can generate some revenue. The biggest problem for some of the crimes, especially human trafficking, is because people are poor, people are illiterate, people are unemployed. So what do you do? If you just think that you will rehabilitate them, rehabilitation is, physical, mental, psychological development, holistic development, but along with them, they should have money, right? Abhi mental health ke bare mein if we talk, aur hamare paas khane ko khana nahi hai, so it doesn't work, right? So both this thing goes side by side. So that's how it has worked for us.
So what else motivates you despite the difficulties and setbacks that you face, and you continue fighting against human trafficking? So what motivates you to keep moving on?
See, of course, like survivors, the survivors 7 years back when they were just covering their head with, and their head were bowed down, to now survivors looking at you in the eye, talking to you. So that motivates. Survivors completing studies and earning something, that motivates you. Conviction, of course, out of the thousands of rescues they have done, 5 to 6, 7 convictions have happened. But still, the fact that survivor is going to school, survivor are standing in front of me telling me, okay, this is what I have done. So a lot of things motivate us. The fact that, like for example, now I have survivors in a lot of villages who call me and who call police and stop child marriages. So, this motivates us. So a lot of people, survivors come from very poor families. So they are not able to gift me anything. So they send me jaggery or a lemon or a fruit. So, that is a motivating thing, because that's what is the best thing they can afford. So now survivors are standing with me, going with me to meet people. So these are motivation, because at one point of time when they were not even in a position to, forget about standing, were not in a position to even lift their head, to the fact that, they are going with you, they are training people, of course, not in the way you train, but in the way they can. So definitely it that keeps one going.
So how do local communities get involved in your work for human trafficking? What kind of support do they give you?
See, local communities support means that's manpower. That is the one way local communities help me. I go to villages, they get people for me. They help in organizing events, like for example, if it is a banner, or if it is just like, for example, I remember when I didn't have money, local community used to put a mat जो उनके घर में है. So that's how they used to help me. Local communities inform करते थे कि मैडम हमारे गांव में this is happening, can you please help? So local communities help in lot of inconspicuous ways. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि वो पैसा देंगे, no, not money, but other ways, like maybe walking with you. इंटीरियर विलेज है, आप बाहर नहीं जा सकते, बहुत रिस्क है आपके लिए, आपके साथ रेलवे स्टेशन आपको पहुंचा देना, या फिर ऐसा हो गया कभी कभी आपने खाना कैरी नहीं किया, so they are making whatever they are making in their best possible way, giving it to you, organizing events, ensuring लोग ज्यादा इवेंट में प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट ना करे, maintaining the decorum. फिर local communities anti human trafficking क्लाउस में हेल्प करते हैं, local communities on a timely basis inform करते हैं कि हमारे गांव में दिक्कत है, आप क्या हेल्प कर सकते हो. So there are a lot of things that local communities do, but it depends that you have to make them a part of your work, तभी वो हेल्प करेंगे, वरना वो हेल्प नहीं करेंगे. You have to give them, आप ये नहीं दिखा सकते कि हम आपके गांव में आके we are doing something, doing मेहरबानी on you. No, you have to make them believe that you are doing this work for them, of course, but it's beneficial for everybody. आप ये उनके लिए भी फायदा है, आपके लिए भी फायदा है, ताकि उनका गांव सुरक्षित है. अब अगर गांव में जाके आप, फॉर एग्जांपल, मेरे लिए एक चीज बहुत काम किया है, जैसे मैं गांव में जब जाती हूँ, मैं I don't never go by cars. Of course, I can't afford because the organization is in the initial stage. But वो बहुत connect करता है. आप अगर कार में चले जाओ और आप उस तरह का behave करो, so you cannot connect. You have to be with them, like them, ताकि आप काम कर सकें.
So, what advice or guidance can you offer to people who want to join campaigns against this evil, or even join you? What kind of advice or guidance would you want to give to the people who are listening to us right now?
सबसे तो पहले डोंट ज्वाइन विथ मी टू बिल्ड योर सीवी, बिकॉज सब लोग क्या करते हैं, सारे स्पेशली आजकल दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम विथ अल्फा जनरेशन और मिलेनियल पॉपुलेशन. हर किसी को ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग में काम करना है, वो उनको लगता है कोई एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स है कि मतलब चले जाओ चले. आई गेट एटलीस्ट 5 to 10 रिक्वेस्ट एवरी वीक फ्रॉम पीपल जिनको लगता है रेड में जाएंगे. दैट्स वन. Second is that now everybody wants to work in human trafficking. मेरे से एक बात बार करके they say that they have worked in human trafficking. So that's a big problem, because human trafficking is a big jargon. मतलब human trafficking में अगर आपने काम किया है तो स्कॉलरशिप बाहर, अब्रॉड स्कॉलरशिप, यूके, यूएस, यूरोप में स्कॉलरशिप मिलना एकदम चुटकियों का काम है, बिकॉज वो
ओके।
इतना मतलब सो इस वजह से बच्चे बहुत बहुत ज्यादा ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग में पैशनेट है। लेकिन मुद्दा ये है, ये इनमें से कोई भी फील्ड वर्क नहीं करना चाहता।
ओके।
सो इफ सो वन प्राइमरी थिंग इज दैट आप इस फील्ड में तभी घुसो जब आपको कुछ करना है। और करना मतलब ये नहीं है दिखाने के लिए कि आप गए
हाँ।
आपने फोटो खींचा। अभी हम लोग फोटो खींचते हैं, लाइक 12 years ऑफ वर्किंग इन एंटी ट्रैफिकिंग। सिंस 2021 आई स्टार्टेड क्लिकिंग पिक्चर्स, रेट्स के नहीं, अभी भी मैं बाकी प्रोग्राम्स के फोटोज खींचती हूँ, रेट्स के बहुत कम फोटो खींचती हूँ। आप मेरे पुराने काम को देखेंगे, आपको पुराना मेरा कोई भी फोटो नहीं दिखेगा, बिकॉज उस टाइम पे मुझे कभी फोटो खींचने का दिमाग भी नहीं था, बिकॉज हम जा रहे हैं, एक बच्ची सर से पैर तक जख्मी है, आप फोटो खींचोगे। बट आजकल के बच्चे इतना स्मार्ट है, वो कहीं भी जाते हैं उनको फोटो खींचना है, तो उसी से वो कुछ एक दो लाइन लिख देंगे सब। आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट दैट्स बैड, सोशल मीडिया इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वरना आपको कैसे रिकॉग्निशन मिलेगा, इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगा, बट go to the field. That's the primary thing. One. Second is everybody doesn't have to be an activist like me or a social worker. नहीं, आप अपने घर से भी बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं। आईटी में काम करिए। आप ये मत सोचिए कि आईटी में काम करता हूँ, नौकरी वोकरी छोड़ के आपके साथ ज्वाइन करूंगा, नहीं। घर नहीं चलेगा तो आप नौकरी के मेरे साथ काम कैसे कर सकते हो? आई थिंक द फर्स्ट थिंग इज योर इंटेंट। आपका इंटेंट क्या है? अगर आप कुछ करना चाहते हो तो बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो। आप सोशल मीडिया में इतना एक्टिव हो, सोशल मीडिया में आप डिफरेंट डिफरेंट चीजें शेयर कर सकते हो। आधे से ज्यादा तो हम माइंडलेस स्क्रॉलिंग करते हैं, तो वो ना करके कुछ डिफरेंट चीजें शेयर करो। पॉडकास्ट कर सकते हो। अब मैं बोलती नहीं हूँ कि सब लोग पॉडकास्टर बन जाओ, तो फिर बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा। मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, अवेयरनेस सेशन रखो, ट्रेनिंग रखो। मैं ये नहीं बोल रही गाँव में जाके करो, अपने घर में भी बातचीत करो। और सबसे बड़ी बात है, सिर्फ ये मत सोचो कि मेरा लाइफ है, मेरा घर है, मेरे साथ तो नहीं हुआ, मतलब उसके साथ हो रहा है यार, मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता है। हाफ ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम मैंने देखा है क्राइम्स होता है कि आपको लगता है वो तो मेरे घर में नहीं हो रहा है, मेरे साथ नहीं हो रहा है। ये जो हॉर्स वाला एटीट्यूड है ना, इसको दिमाग से निकालो। थोड़ा आसपास में देखो क्या हो रहा है, अलर्ट हो रहे हैं। अपने बच्चे हैं तो प्लीज बच्चों से इंटरेक्शन कीजिए। मेरे पास आजकल 5 से 7 केसेस वीक में आते हैं जहाँ पे बच्चे घर से गायब हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि बच्चों के पास सारी चीजें हैं, एक्सपेंसिव चीजें हैं बच्चे, पर बच्चों के साथ माँ बाप का कोई मेंटल कनेक्शन नहीं है, कोई इमोशनल अटैचमेंट नहीं है। तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम है। दूसरा प्रॉब्लम ये है, आपको अगर लग रहा है कि ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग सिर्फ गरीब लोगों के साथ होते हैं, नहीं, आजकल डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के शिकार लोगों के साथ ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग हो रही है। मेंटल मेंटल हेल्थ जिन जो फेस कर रहे हो उनके साथ ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग हो रही है। जो बच्चों को ज्यादा पाबंदी लगा रहे हो इंस्टाग्राम के थ्रू, लोगों से टिकटॉक, इंस्टाग्राम, स्नैपचैट, इनके थ्रू लोगों के साथ चैट करके फिर वो गायब हो रहे हैं। बहुत सारी चीजें वो समझिए। इसके सिवा बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स के बारे में बात करना जरूरी है, जैसे सेक्स एजुकेशन बोलिए, या फिर रिप्रोडक्शन बोलिए, मेंस्ट्रुअल बात बोलिए, इनके बारे में बात कीजिए। बिकॉज क्या होता है ना, हम लोग घर में बहुत बोलते हैं कि पापा के साथ ये बात क्यों करेंगे, मम्मी के साथ, बट अगर राइट डिसमिनेशन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता ना, तो बच्चे क्या करते हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन गलत तरीके से ढूंढने का कोशिश करते हैं, और गलत तरीके से इंफॉर्मेशन क्रॉस करने से वो लोग फंस जाते हैं। फिर क्या बोलते हैं, मिसयूज, फोटोग्राफी की मिसयूज होती है। आप देखते होंगे बहुत सारे लोगों का मॉड फोटोग्राफ कौन
यस
साइट्स में
यस।
मिलता है, वो बच्चों को सिखाइए, कहीं पे भी फोटो वोटो मत शेयर करें, ये एक प्रॉब्लम होता है। इसके सिवा बहुत सारे और भी चीज है, जैसे इंटीमेट होना। जैसे आपका बॉयफ्रेंड है, आपका गर्लफ्रेंड है, आपको पता नहीं है आपका क्या बाउंड्री है। मैं लड़कियों के लिए नहीं बोल रही हूँ, मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि गर्ल शुड नॉट गेट फिजिकली इंटीमेट विद अ बॉय, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स देयर चॉइस इफ दे आर एडल्ट्स, बट दे शुड नो दैट देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ बॉय एंड अ गर्ल। However, we talk about gender equality, SDG 4 5 जो भी है उसमें लिखा है जेंडर इक्वालिटी, आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकलेक्ट राइट नाउ। जेंडर इक्वालिटी की बात करते हैं, फिर भी अभी भी समाज पेट्रियार्कल है, सोशल कंडीशनिंग ऐसा है। लड़कियों को अभी भी पूछा जाता है कि आर यू ए वर्जिन, ये सब क्वेश्चंस पूछा जाता है। इट डजंट मैटर, बिकॉज मेल जेंडर के साथ डिफरेंट बिहेव होता है, फीमेल जेंडर के साथ डिफरेंट होता है। सो इसीलिए इट्स वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाट आर योर बाउंड्रीज। अगर ऐसा आपके साथ हो गया तो आप क्या करोगे? हम लोग क्या करते हैं, घटना घटती है तो उसके बाद सोचते हैं। पहले देखिए कि घटना ना घटे, दैट्स वन थिंग। सेकंड इज दैट जितने भी पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चों के फोटो सोशल मीडिया में लगाते हैं, मेरा बच्चा क्यूट है क्यूट है, प्लीज बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल। क्या लगा रहे हो, कौन बैठा है, कहाँ देख रहे
एग्जैक्टली।
हो, और अगर शेयर भी कर रहे हो तो जगह शेयर मत करो अपने। मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ पेरेंट्स घर का एड्रेस देते हैं, बट मेरी बच्ची स्कूल में पढ़ती है तो कहीं ना कहीं लोगों को पता लग जाता है। सो ऐसे भी हमारे पास केसेस आ रहे हैं जहाँ पे बच्चे स्कूल में जाते हैं, पेरेंट्स ने सिर्फ स्कूल का नाम लिखा, बच्चे को उठा लिया गया बिकॉज बच्चा गैजेटेड ऑफिसर का बच्चा था, फिर उसको किडनैपिंग हो गई। तो मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग ही होगी, बहुत कुछ हो सकता है।
हाँ।
आपके साथ मेंटल हेरासमेंट हो सकता है, साइबर अब्यूज होता है, और एक चीज जो बोलते हैं बच्चों को, प्लीज अपना पैसा मत दिखाओ स्कूल में जाके कि मेरे पापा इतना है, मेरे पापा के पास गाड़ी है, ये है। ये इससे भी बहुत सारे बच्चों के साथ जो दोस्त है वो कुछ नहीं करता, बट उसके दोस्त, उसके जान पहचान वाले कर सकते हैं। उसके सिवा अपना जो फोन है, फोन फोन किसी को देने से पहले बहुत सोचिए। गूगल पे पासवर्ड मत शेयर कीजिए, पेटीएम के पासवर्ड मत शेयर कीजिए, मतलब कोई भी फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस मत शेयर कीजिए। बहुत ज्यादा फ्रॉड हो रहे हैं। और आजकल फ्रॉड तो पैसे तो चोरी है, बाकी चीजें तो चोरी है, लोगों के फोटो से भी फ्रॉड हो रहे हैं। आपने किसी के साथ वीडियो कॉल कर ली, उसने अपना फोटो देख लिया, उसके साथ आपका प्राइवेट पार्ट अटैच करके आपको फोन करके बोल रहे हैं ये वीडियो मेरे पास है, अभी तुम पैसा दो नहीं तो 5 लाख रुपए, तो 5 लाख रुपए दो नहीं तो तुमको फंसाऊंगा। सो मेरा कहना है थोड़ा सतर्क रहे, थोड़ा अवेयर रहे। रेलवे ट्रेन में जा रहे हो तो प्लीज, रेलवे प्रोटेक्शन फोर्स है, जनरल रेलवे पुलिस है, उनको फोन कीजिए। आजकल आप देखेंगे एक गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का एक बहुत अच्छा चीज है, अगर लड़की अकेली ट्रेन में ट्रेवल कर रही है तो एक कांस्टेबल आती है पूछने के लिए कि आप अकेले ट्रेवल कर रहे हो, कोई दिक्कत है। सबसे पहले तो अपने फोन में अपने पास कुछ नंबर्स रखिए जिससे आप इमरजेंसी में कॉल कर सकते हो। बॉर्डर में है तो बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स के पास जाइए। देखिए, ये जो मानसिकता है ना कि पुलिस तो हेल्प नहीं करेगी, बहुत बकवास है। पुलिस है हमारे हेल्प के लिए, टैक्स हम इसलिए पे करते हैं। अब पुलिस को गवर्नमेंट ने एम्प्लॉय किया है, अब गवर्नमेंट पुलिस को पैसा देते हैं, और गवर्नमेंट को पैसा कहाँ से मिलता है? हमारे टैक्स से, राइट? तो
एग्जैक्टली।
आप अगर अगर आप पुलिस को रीच आउट करना चाहेंगे, आप अगर जाएंगे, पुलिस इज बाउंड टू हेल्प यू। पुलिस आपको मना नहीं कर सकती, तो आपको वो करना पड़ेगा। एक तो ये है। और एक अभियान जो हमने शुरू किया है अभी, वो है ये कि हम बच्चों को बोलते हैं माँ बाप के नाम के साथ घर का फोन नंबर भी याद करके रखो, क्योंकि माँ बाप के नाम सिमिलर हो सकते हैं लेकिन फोन नंबर सिमिलर नहीं हो सकते। तो मोस्ट ऑफ द बच्चों को हम बोलते हैं कि फोन नंबर सीखो, फोन नंबर सीखो। और सबसे बड़ी बात है, अपने बच्चे का पीछा मत करिए, बच्चे के फ्रेंड बनिए। ये एक बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, लाइक स्पेशली जो लोग बहुत एक केस मैं आपको बोलूंगी, उसके बाद आई विल फिनिश दिस आंसर। वो है, एक फैमिली बच्चे को ऐसा हालत कर दिया था कि बच्चे सिर्फ फ्लाइट में ट्रेवल करता था और गाड़ी में। वो बच्चा इसलिए ट्रैफिक हो गया था क्योंकि उस बच्चे को साइकिल में घूमना था, मतलब बाजार में घूमना था। सो ये भी रीजन हो सकते हैं, समझ रहे हैं? मतलब आप सिर्फ सोचिए कि पैसे पैसे, नो, इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट।
तो अगर ये जो द पीपल आर वाचिंग दिस वीडियो, अगर उनमें से कोई आपसे सोशल मीडिया पे कनेक्ट करना चाहता है तो हाउ कैन दे डू दैट?
मैं आपको डिटेल दे दूंगी, मेरा मेरा डिटेल मैं आपको दे दूंगी, जब आप पोस्ट करेंगे तो देख लेना। कोई भी मेरे साथ कभी भी रीच आउट कर सकता है।
ओके। ओके, so that's it for the time being. So it was very nice speaking with Pallavi ji, and thank you so much again for sharing the time and really and sharing this valuable information with us. Thank you very much, Pallavi ji. Thank you. Thank you again.
थैंक यू।
Thank you. Bye.